Hello everyone out there. Welcome to Solve It Out. This is Annie here, and today I'm going to do a project on Stripe subscription plans for an authenticated user. Now this authentication will be done with the help of Firebase authentication. So without much detailing, let me show you the demo of this project. You can see here the services page where there are three plans present: basic, pro and business. Now to start with any of this plan, we have to first do login. So as I click in the login page, it will get redirect to the login window. So here I don't have any account right now. So first I'll do registration. On registration, I'll write here any or any B. Then next I'll write Oni solve it out at gmail.com, and then we'll give a password and we'll do register. We'll get immediately redirect to the login page after registration. Next here I'll do my login with my registered password. And I'll click the login. You can see now I have logged in. It's showing my display name or my username here and the logout button. Okay, so first to start with the plan, let me start with a pro plan. So I'll click the start and it should get me redirected to the Stripe window. You can see here subscribe to pro and the plan amount is given here, that is rupees 499. Now here I want to write my email. Then I will give a test card number and some future months and year and a CVC. Name, I want to give the same name and then click on subscribe. You can see the payment is successful and we are redirected to our payment successful page. On clicking proceed, you can see here that now our design is showing that you are subscribed to this pro plan. So to check, make it more sure, we'll first go to our Firebase, and here you can see in authentication I have my Gmail account here, that with the account I have registered, and in real-time database if I go there, you will find a user and the UID. With that, you can check my email, UID, and username. And there is a subscription object here. And in the subscription object, you can check all the details of the subscription, that is plan duration, plan end date, ID, start date, and plan type. Next, I'll go to the Stripe, where if I go to the payments, you can check here, this is the last payment, 499 by Annie Solve It Out, and this is the last that we have paid. Before those were my checks, what I have been doing. So this is the last payment done. So this is a full stack app where you can do the authentication and also can apply for Stripe subscription. So without much extending, let us jump on to the code. In this project, we have two main folders. One is the front end, another is the back end. Now for the backend folder, I haven't added any of the files. For the front end, I have installed Vite with React along with Tailwind CSS. You can go to this link of Tailwind CSS where the process of installation has been defined line by line. So it will be really helpful to follow it down. We'll give the link in the description. So you can follow how to install the React with Vite and Tailwind CSS. So I have already installed it, and in the source file, I have removed some of the codes. That is for app.jsx. I have cleared the file and I have only written here the hello. And I have created one of the folders, that is this layout folder. Now, this layout folder has 5 files. That is, these are the 5 files, or you can say the routes which are going to needed, means which we going to work on it. So a success page here, just only the initial code has been written here. A register page, a login page, a home.jsx, and cancel page. So here, this folder structure I have created already. Now we'll do the main coding. First, I want to run it. So cd frontend and do npm run dev. For those who want to know which version I'm working on, this is my package.json file. You can pause the video and go through it and check the versions here. So we'll go to the localhost. You can see my hello is present and Tailwind is working fine. So here, next, I'm going to install React Router DOM for my routing purpose. So React Router router. So you can see React Router DOM has been installed. We'll go to app.jsx directly. Here I'm going to import React Router DOM. Okay. So this one I'll remove this line and we'll wrap it up with browser router and then wrap it up with routes, and then we'll call each of the component. Route will define its path, we'll call the element, so here I have defined all the routes. The app.jsx code is completed. Next, I'll move on to the register.jsx code. So let me quickly write down the code and the CSS portion. Then we'll discuss about the state management. You can see that I have already completed the code of register page. Now the CSS part is complete. One is the one that is this CSS, that is diagonal background. This is not a Tailwind CSS class. I have written this one because I want to change the background to something nice, not a plain white background. So that CSS I'll define right now. So let us go to the index.css page. Here I want to define that specific CSS is diagonal background. Here I want to define the background as, so with the two color combo I have defined it. Let's check whether the background changed or not. Yes, you can see the diagonal background, the two color combination. So this is a custom CSS class that I have created. You can also create any custom CSS using Tailwind CSS also. Next, we'll go to the register page. Here, I'm now going to define the use states, that is for email, full name, and password. So, and right, we'll take normal three use states. So, first will be full name, that it take empty string. Also define the use state, text, copy the line, change the value here, email, set email, password, set password. Now our use states are defined. Next, we'll go to the input field. Here, we'll write here value, full name, and then give it a on change function, event, set, that set full name dot target dot value. Okay, first one is done. Next, we'll go to the email, set value equal to email, on change, event, set email to e dot target dot value. Read the same thing in the password also. Change the value accordingly. So our on change functions are done here. Next, for form, I'll write a function of on submit, finite handle submit. Create the function here. It will be an arrow function, handle submit. Now first I'll console.log these states and we'll check whether it is working correctly or not. Mistake, console.log. Finally, you can see this is the handle submit function, that is the name, email, and the password is now showing right here. So next we're going to add more in this handle submit function. First, let us add a check of if all the fields are present or not. So if there is no email, no full name, or no password, then we will console.log, please fill all the fields and return. Next, we'll check the email, that is const email rejects. I have taken this value from the web. This will check the email format. So we'll check if not email rejects dot test email, then console.log please provide a valid email, and then return. Now here I'm console.log doing console.log for the error fields. If you want, you can do the error field. You can use a state here and put the error field in this below this form or inside this div to show the error. Now before going further here, I want to do the Firebase configuration. Then only I can create the user for registration. So I'll save the file here, and then we'll create a folder in the source folder, that is Firebase. And inside Firebase, want to create a file that is Firebase config.js. Next, we'll go to the Firebase console. So you can search, go to Firebase and then go to console. This window will get opened. So I'll create a project here with the name Stripe subscription. Okay. So we'll do continue. Will not need the Google Analytics, and we'll create the project. It takes time according to your network speed. Once the Firebase is connected, we can easily create the register page. So we'll click here continue, and the project is done. Next, we'll register our app. So we'll go to the project settings, the project overview, and we'll click this web here. You can see register app. So I'll write Stripe, same name we'll give, Stripe subscription. We'll register the app here. We'll copy this code, this part. So we'll click to copy, and then we'll go to our folder in the Firebase config. I'm going to paste what I have copied and will change this code after some time. Till then, let me install the Firebase npm install Firebase. We'll go again back to the Firebase and we'll click continue to the console. Next, we'll have an authentication. We will be using this authentication. So for native providers, we will be only using email and password. So just save it and our email password is enabled. Next, I want to have a real-time database. We'll create a database. In this database, the user details of Stripe subscription will get stored. So next, start in the locked mode. You can see the link is ready. Just go to the rules and change the read and write from false to true, because we are going to write and delete the datas. So publish this rule and our Firebase work is done. Next, we'll go to the our VS Code, and here the Firebase is installed. You can see here this is the version of Firebase. So I'll go now to the Firebase config and we'll remove this comments because I'll not need it. We'll also remove this import one, the down one also. Okay. So at the top, I'll import Firebase from Firebase dash compat dash Firebase dash app. Next, I'll import Firebase dash compat dash auth, and finally we'll import Firebase dash compat slash database. Okay, import portion is done. Here, if dot Firebase dot apps Firebase dot initialize app and pass the Firebase config. Finally, we'll export default Firebase. So the Firebase configuration has been done. Next, we'll move to the register page. Here, we'll work with the Firebase. So before that, let me install the Firebase up here. Import Firebase, not from the compat, but from our folder. Firebase dash Firebase config. Now, let us code for the connection. So I'll write const response is equal to await Firebase dot auth dot create user with email and password. Okay, this is a built-in function of Firebase and will pass our email and password. So this one is done. So I have used here await. So I have to give an async here in this handle submit, so it will be async. It's fine. So next I'll write here if response dot user, then await response dot user dot update the file. Now this is the extra information that I want to pass rather than email and password. That is, I want to pass my full name. So for display name, I want to pass full name. So this is done. Next, I'll call the UID because I want to store the user information in the real-time database. So I'm calling a UID here of our authentication. So we'll call response dot the dot UID. This is a Firebase field which we get a unique ID for each and every user. Next, we'll write const user ref. This is a variable that I've the user ref. It will be Firebase dot database dot ref. It will be users plus plus UID. I'm calling the reference. I'm giving the reference of the database of Firebase in this user ref, and I'm passing the ID, and I am creating this object, user object. Well, I want to store UID. Next, email. Next, the name. Okay. So finally, our database store, I will be storing this user ref. In this user ref, I'm calling the database field, and then I am storing this object, user object, which will help me to find out that for this specific user, for which plan the user has paid for. Okay, so our database is done. Next, we'll empty the use states. So set full name, empty string, set email, empty string, set password, also empty string. So here we'll write another function, that is after sign up, I want to redirect to the login page. So we'll write here navigate, not this navigate, but I'll define the navigate. Wait, let us first define it. So here it will be const navigate equals to use navigate. You can see use navigate is imported from React Router DOM, and now we'll this navigate and we'll write here /login. So our handle submit function is done. All the process is complete. So let's save it. And now let's check how we can get registered. Okay. So first I'll write here name, that is Annie. Write B also here. And I want to store my email. Annie solve it out at gmail.com, and password will be one. Change it to a simple. Now click register. You can see it got redirected to the login page. Now let me check my Firebase. You can see in the real-time database a user has been created, and this is the UID, and this is the email, the UID, and the username. So the user object is also created, and then authentication. We have this email and this UID. So our Firebase connection is successful, and our registration is also done. Now next I'll do the login. So the login page is almost equal to the register page. So I'll just copy this full code and we'll do the necessary changes in the login page. In this login page, we'll paste the register code and we'll change this register name to login. Okay, so this is done. Now here at the top, will not need the full name as login will have only two fields, that is email and password. Next, let's also remove this one. And here we'll write from register to services. We are going to write login to services. Will not require this full name field, so I'm deleting it. We'll need email, we'll need password. We'll write here, change a little bit here, that is don't have an account, then you should go to the register page. Change the href here, register. For the button, change it to login, and this is almost done. We'll remove this full name from handle submit. We'll check the email and password. If it is filled up, we'll also check the email rejects, and we'll not need this one. We'll use another Firebase function. So here, and when we'll navigate, means after login, I want to redirect the user to home page. I'll write here home page. Thing here. Yeah. Now this is fine. Save it up. Go to the login page. You can see a login page is ready. Login to services, email, password. I think I need a in the email. I want to change this PB, that is padding bottom, to py. That you can see the gap is now working fine. Now let us give the login functions. So here we'll check after the email validation. We'll do const response equal to await Firebase dot auth dot sign in with email and password. Okay, this is another built-in function of Firebase. So we'll write email comma password, and next we'll check, that is if response dot user, then we'll do these steps. If we get the user, then we'll navigate it to the home page. Actually, we can put this in a try catch block. So if we get an error, then we can try to solve it. So this one, after the e.prevent default, we can apply this try catch block. We'll copy this whole thing. And we'll paste inside the try catch block. Okay. Here we can write catch error, so that if we face any error, we can console.log and check it out. Okay. Also, I'm going to put this try catch block in the register field. So this is done. Let me go to the register field once more, and here after e.prevent default, write try. Okay. Now we'll put all this inside the try block, and then here catch the error, right, console.log register error. Save it. Now this try catch block will help us to find if we face any error. So it will get console.log out. We can see that in console. So let us go back to the login page, and our handle submit is done. So let us check whether we can get login or not. So on login, we'll go directly to our home page. So I'll write here my registered email now. Login, you can see we are successfully logged in and redirect to our home page. Next, we'll do the design of the home page. Now you can see I have completed the design of the homepage. You can see here the login and the logout button at the same time. This I will change on basis of the state that when we are logged in, it will show the username and logout, and when we are not logged in, this will show the login button. So that state portion, I will continue doing that in the second part of this video. Till then, this is Annie signing off. Will come very soon with the second part of Stripe subscription plans for an authenticated user.